Torontonians clean up in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy.
Halloween festivities get underway at Humber, and the winner of this year's Giller Prize is announced. Humber News starts now.
Hello, it's Wednesday, October 31st. Welcome to Humber News, coming to you from the Broadcast Center here at the North Campus. I'm Sarah Ricks. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Bailey Martell. Ahead on our show, we have all your news, sports, and entertainment highlights, as well as your 5-day weather forecast. But first, Sarah has our top story.
Toronto is still recovering from the damaging effects of Hurricane Sandy. As of this morning, about 600 homes in the GTA remain without power. Damage to the city's power grid peaked at around 4 a.m. Tuesday when more than 60,000 residents were without electricity. All schools have been reopened Wednesday following scattered closures. Pearson Airport has resumed regular service. However, flights to the American Northeast, including New York's JFK Airport and New Jersey's Newark International, still face cancellations and delays.
Toronto High Road is still warning customers about phoning contractors looking to profit from storm-related outages. A local resident reported the scam after being approached by contractors claiming to work for the company. The contractors then asked for money in exchange for repairs. A spokesperson for the company says their contractors never ask for money and customers should report incidents to Toronto Hydro or to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre.
A stretch of Queen Street is still closed to traffic today after a fire destroyed a commercial building early Tuesday morning. The area between Spadina Avenue and Soho Street is shut down to allow demolition crews to knock down the building. Investigators are looking into the cause of the 3-alarm blaze that destroyed a hair salon, tattoo parlor, and root store. Police say the street closure will be reevaluated later today.
Toronto police are investigating a series of shootings that left 1 dead and 2 others seriously wounded. Police have identified the deceased victim as 26-year-old Leonard Charles Fullerton, who was shot outside an apartment building near Weston Road and Eglinton Avenue yesterday afternoon. Police say the suspect fled the scene in a silver sedan and is described as black, 6 feet tall, with a thin build and wearing dark clothing. Police consider him to be armed and dangerous.
And only a few hours later, police were called to the scene of a double shooting on Falstaff Avenue near Jane Street and Highway 401. Police found the first victim, a male in his 20s, in an apartment stairwell with multiple gunshot wounds to the torso. EMS responders then found a second victim, a 17-year-old male with gunshot wounds to the head, across the street at a community center. Both shootings are believed to have happened around 8:10 p.m. Tuesday. Police have not released the identities of the hospitalized victims or any information about potential suspects.
At Humber College today, students were treated by HSF in the Student Center. HSF carried on their Halloween tradition once again this year. Pumpkins were lined up in the food emporium today waiting to be carved. Students got their creative individual pumpkins by transforming them into jack-o'-lanterns fit for a spooky Halloween night. The HSF also provided candies and treats for onlookers. The HSF has canceled the Halloween party at the Lakeshore campus because of Hurricane Sandy.
And even if you're too old to go trick-or-treating, there are still places that cater to the adult sweet tooth. Patricia Brotzel has more.
Nestled in the heart of King Street, just off Spadina, lies a boutique chocolatier. Soma Chocolates makes artisan sweets and chili-infused hot chocolate for a grown-up clientele. This Toronto-based chocolate shop has a unique method that sets them apart from the rest.
Essentially, we produce our own chocolate from bean to bar. We have a processing facility in Roncesvalles where we actually sort and roast our own beans. Once they're roasted, they go to distillery where they're actually ground and then made into chocolate bars.
Amongst the pumpkin snaps and Peruvian dark chocolate almond clusters, they have whipped up a Halloween treat called Bones of the Dead.
They're called Bones of the Dead because of the way they're shaped. They're rolled and in icing sugar and then lightly pinched so these little break lines come through. So they end up looking a little bit like femurs or mini little bones.
Surprisingly, while they do make some Halloween-themed sweets, the spookiest day of the year isn't a big market for the adult chocolate shopper.
I think they're just focused on giving chocolates out to kids on Halloween, and I don't think it's a matter of treating themselves. It's just a children's holiday majority.
Halloween doesn't have to be just for the kiddies. Boutique chocolatiers have things for the adult sweet tooth as well. Patricia Bratzel, Humber News.
And in truly spooky news, some New Jersey towns have had to cancel their Halloween because of Hurricane Sandy. Garden State Governor Chris Christie says unsafe conditions means he may need to sign an executive order to reschedule trick-or-treating.
When we come back, we'll have more news from across the country and around the world. Katie Fraser will have the sports news, and we'll have your weather forecast with Claire McCormack.
Viewers can expect this evening to be dark, spooky, and a little bit rainy. I've got all that and more with your 5-day weather forecast coming up after the break.